To whale or not to whale? That is the question we are going to answer in this video and discuss the best ways to go about that. Now, the first thing we should talk about is what exactly is whaling. For those that are not familiar, in free-to-play games like Geass Lost Stories, while it is free to play, you can spend your own money to make the process of leveling up faster, get more characters, and complete the harder missions. In Geass Lost Stories, there are two ways you can do this. Let me show you what I mean. So go to the section here, and first of all, you can actually buy Sakuradite. You need Sakuradite for summoning characters, like you see here we go to the Scout banner, and you can use that resource to summon characters. You can also go to the store here, and you can buy Nightmare Frames once it loads up. Here we are, Nightmare Frames. You can buy that also with paid Sakuradite. You can also use paid Sakuradite for this store right here, but free one also works. There are also step-up banners that you can use paid Sakuradite for, or I should say are paid Sakuradite only. Now, the other way you can whale in Geass Lost Stories is to go for the passes. So let's check that out. So right here, there are two passes. We have the black and the gold. The black pass gives you a lot of really nice stuff. I like the daily quest drop radar. That helps you get more items during your daily quests, more skip tickets, increases the player XP rate by 50%, which helps for leveling up faster. The items in here are not exactly the greatest, but it is technically $7, so what are you expecting? For the gold pass, you get way more stuff, including a paid Sakuradite, quest skip tickets, more of that, more radar drops, more train skip tickets, and what I really like is that it increases the maximum number of times you can clear the daily quest by 2, and the maximum expedition times by 1. So basically you can challenge expedition mode twice a day, and if there's multiple things going on like right now, you can actually do 4 a day, which is pretty good. And for the daily quest missions, it means you can challenge it 2 additional times. So if you're doing free to play, it's 3 times. In this case, it'd be 5. On special occasions, you might actually get 2 additional ones because of the event, so 7 times, which is absolutely insane and really good if you're trying to collect certain items. So putting it all together, the reason why you want to whale in the game, or should at least consider doing it, is because you'll be able to level up faster, you'll get access to more characters because you'll have more Sakuradite to spend, and complete the really hard missions. So the question you're probably thinking then is, does that mean I can't complete the hard stuff or make a lot of progress on the free-to-play account? You can, but it's going to take a while. You gotta accept the fact that this game is designed for people to spend money into it, so if you don't want to, it will take a while, unless you get very lucky on your pulls, which happened to me on both my Japanese accounts. But if you're not lucky, then yeah, it's gonna take a while, unfortunately. Keep in mind though that if you're in it for the long haul, eventually you will get over some of those walls you're gonna hit early on in the game. For example, when this game first came out, getting through the first chapter missions like 1 through 3 was actually really difficult, but now it's easy, and you'll probably have an easier time going through chapters 7, 8, and so forth than you did 1 through 3 because you now have an established team. So again, it's the patience game. If you're in it for the long haul, you will be able to overcome some of those obstacles. Just keep in mind, you will not be able to defeat all the missions, and you will not be able to get all the characters. You'll have to budget your Sakuradite and only spend it on certain banners that will give you the most value, and not every single one that comes out. I wouldn't worry too much about not being able to defeat every single mission, because I can tell you that sometimes the awards are not worth it, and thankfully now they've corrected some of these errors by making it during events, the expedition awards don't increase if you decide to go for the extra missions. Instead, you get a plaque at the end, which is really nice, because at least in that case, you don't have to kill yourself to try to beat those hard missions when the award is just a simple plaque that tells you, hey, you completed something. Another nice thing about Lost Stories is that at least it released all the main character pilots and the Nightmare Frames for free, which is great because at least you'll have 3 competitive rank 4 pilots that you can use on most teams, and they're all very good like I just said. So at least they give you that for free. And they do have events like the Nightmare Frame boss battle or the suppression event, which do give you a lot of free items, or in some cases a really powerful Nightmare Frame that's still competitive to this day. So stuff like that does help free to play players, as long as you are careful about how you budget spending all of your resources on various things in the stores. One way you can mitigate some of the downfalls of being a free to play player is to have multiple accounts like I do. I have 2 global accounts and I have 2 Japanese accounts, and through having 2 different accounts, I'm able to get most of the characters without spending my actual money, which is really awesome. Unfortunately, you will not have all of them on one account, but at least you'll have two where you get basically access to all the characters, and that's totally fine by me. It's up to you if that's the path you want to take. I will admit that having multiple accounts is very time consuming. Another thing to consider is that even on the harder missions, it is possible to beat them without having all the best characters in the game, but you gotta be really good at the game to do that and have at least highly leveled up rank 3 pilots and below. I would call myself a veteran in Geass Lost Stories, but I'm definitely not the best player, not even close, and so for me personally, it's hard for me to do that, but if you are really clever in the game and you can think of very interesting strategies, you can probably work through some of the harder missions if you're willing to put the time in. And that brings up another important point, is that a lot of people have asked me to complete the extra missions or show how to defeat them in Geass Lost Stories. And the reason why I'm hesitant to do that is because I know it's going to take me a lot of time to defeat them. I could of course do it, but is that time investment worth it? And I would argue no. I think a better approach in the game, and yes, this is a little off topic, but I think it's still relevant, which is that you need to consider the fact that you'll be able to defeat those harder missions much later on, like months down the road. And I would rather get to the point where I can defeat the mission in 20 minutes, not 2 hours of back and forth trying different combinations, when clearly I don't have a strong enough team, or if I just had a certain pilot down the road, it'd be a lot easier. Power prep is a good thing in a sense because it'll help you defeat the harder missions back in the day that aren't hard right now. So keep that in mind as you're going through the extra missions as both a free-to-play player and also as a whale player. If it's too hard for you to do it, then I would recommend just waiting it out a little bit. And that's something you're going to have to decide on your own. So if you don't like the free-to-play cons and you want to whale, what is the best way to do that? Well, my advice would be, at the very least, to go and buy the Black Pass and the Gold Pass for 1 month. If it's your first month, it's free for the Black Pass, and within that month, you'll get to rank 21 very quickly. As you can see on my free-to-play account, I am rank 20, and it's currently December. I'll probably get to rank 21 before the end of the month, I hope, which means it took me about 4 months to get there. So basically you have a choice. Do you want to wait almost 4 months to get to rank 21? Or would you rather get it within a couple of weeks? That's up to you. And the reason why you want to get to rank 21 is because you'll have access to all roster spots and you'll get access to 2 training rooms in training mode, which early on in the game is very helpful. I think this is something even free-to-play players should consider at least, because it will speed up your progress at least early on in the game and set you up for success in the near future. Now, I believe from my personal experience now whaling on one of my accounts that the pass itself is fine. I don't think you have to go beyond that, like spending your own Sakuradite, unless of course you want to go hard on certain banners. Now, if we're going hard on certain banners, I'd recommend only going for the really broken ones. Even if you plan on spending your own money on Sakuradite, don't just waste it willy-nilly because you might like the character. Only go in if you know for a fact that that character is absolutely broken. And try not to buy Sakuradite outside of sales, because otherwise you're kind of wasting your money. I mean, you're wasting your money no matter what, but if you want to be more efficient about it, I recommend buying stuff that's on sale during either maybe special events they have or an opening of the game or things like that. Don't just buy Sakuradite because you need it. Try to be smart about it. You know, buy a lot for a certain event and then save that for down the road. That would be my mindset if I was doing this. And that's my take on if you want to whale or not. I think it's something you got to decide for yourself. If you're in it for the long term, I think you'll be fine either way. And like I said earlier, you want to make sure you prioritize the right banners to go hard on, whether you're free to play or whaling. And to find out which ones they are, I recently ranked all of them in this video right here. Plus, here's my thoughts on the new birthday Lelouch. Go check out those videos right now.